SkipFarmer, Senior Director of Sales and Engineering for Primer. Skip, welcome. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
What are the opportunities that you see for using artificial intelligence to drive innovation in the maritime space?
I think we're seeing a lot of use cases that are really expanding. I think initially we look at things like mission planning, we look at search and analysis, and the use cases that have changed and evolved are due to the speed of which in the maritime organizations here in the Navy, they're able to realize the benefits of this and more use cases than they thought they had. So I think two things are happening. One is they need to increase the speed analysis of all the data and information that's coming at them. And they need to do this in a way now where they didn't realize that they have a lot of different answers to these problems that they could do for the use cases. So what I mean by that is initially starting and saying we can solve like this mission planning, we can solve contested logistics, we can solve in one particular area, and then realizing, well, actually there are a lot more areas that we can expand in once they adapt and evolve from that.
What I'm struck by is the really quick progression from back office functions, maintenance, those kinds of things, which is where we were, I'd say, 3 years ago, predictive analytics for that kind of thing, to warfighter decision-making is really top of mind for using not pushing the button, but giving the warfighter information that she needs to be able to make those decisions in really contested situations.
I think there's also a lot of information that's been collected over time. That is a huge treasure trove of information to help both historically but also contextually apply to current situations as they continue to analyze and evolve. So they're able, that information then is of value today, more so than before, because that information was stored and not necessarily analyzed for analysis. You can analyze huge amounts of information much faster using the technology, and then give that information, that summarization, to somebody who cares and needs to make those decisions. So the time and speed is increased considerably.
I imagine that implies a tremendous confidence in the data that's collected too, to be able to say, all right, what I see in front of me is the information that the AI tool has generated. I could be confident in using that to make a decision. Is that a fair read on my point?
It is, and I think that's a great point you brought up, the trust in that data and information. So there's some things that need to occur as part of the data science and analysis to make sure that this information is that the analyst is going to trust that, because in some cases you've heard about hallucinations, this idea of what information might be made up or not accurate. Because we're able to reduce that challenge now to sub 1% on that end, they can really start to trust that and not second guess. And as far as decision and time to decision, it must be a huge impact for those analysts and those users.
The two words I think that you've used multiple times now, they're most encouraging to me as an outside observer, though, are the words use cases, where people are thinking through, what do we do? How do we meet mission with this technology, instead of how do we figure out some way to use this technology? You get the difference that I'm getting at.
And I think that is an exciting part of the technology, and really I think an adaptation that some people will need to make in the field, because it's no longer, hey, I'm going to get this tool and it solves for this problem. We're saying, what are the problems you were trying to solve for, because the tools can now adapt for that. And based on that adaptation, they can really spread out, and it's much more tailored without requiring a lot more tailoring of the technology, if you will, to meet their needs. And so I think that's a great point. And I'm excited to see how it's going to evolve and be used by the people that need that information.
Skip, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.